Yes, I recall the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan, joining us for a memorable evening on the yacht a few years ago. As for those diamond earrings I gifted to the Queen, I have no idea how she came to wear them.
What if one night on a private yacht, years before anyone knew her name, changed everything? And what if a pair of glittering diamond earrings, worn at the worst possible moment, hold the key to a story nobody has ever fully explained? All right, buckle in, because this one is messy, uncomfortable, and full of those jaw-tightening little details that make you go, wait, what? And hey, while you're here, make sure you hit subscribe. This channel is basically where royal mysteries come to grow new plot twists. Anyway, let's get into it. So here's the thing no one expected to resurface this early into 2026. Meghan Markle, yes, that Meghan, the mindfulness quotes, lifestyle brand, lemon jam, Sundays in Montecito Meghan, is back under a spotlight she definitely did not ask for. And the person dragging her into it? Not a tabloid, not a jealous relative, not even a bored ex-friend looking for clout, but the Saudi crown prince himself, Mohammed bin Salman. Yeah, we're starting there. This isn't some distant rumor from a source close to the situation. This is allegedly coming straight from the man who signs off on billion-dollar projects and diplomatic gifts. And according to him, he remembers Meghan long before she walked down the aisle with Harry, and he remembers her being on a yacht, his yacht, during what he calls a memorable evening. Now look, a memorable evening on the yacht can mean a lot of things. Could have been a polite cocktail party, could have been a networking event, could have been something a little more Monaco after midnight, who knows? I wasn't there, you weren't there. But he was, and he's apparently decided now, in this extremely delicate January 2026 moment, to start revisiting the specifics. And the best part? It links directly to the infamous diamond chandelier earrings Meghan wore in 2018, twice, right as the world was furious over Jamal Khashoggi's murder. Great timing, right? Let me remind you of the timeline, because the timing is almost the biggest scandal by itself. October 20th, 2018, Saudi Arabia publicly admits responsibility for Khashoggi's death. October 23rd, 2018, 3 days later, just 3, Meghan steps out in Fiji wearing massive yellow diamond chandelier earrings. Not small studs, not something discreet. No, the biggest look-at-me sparkle earrings you could possibly choose. And Palisades, according to multiple books, Valentine Lowe's Courtiers, Robert Lacey's Battle of Brothers, instantly recognized them. Because they weren't chopard, they weren't borrowed from a jeweler, they weren't a last-minute, oh, these match my dress accessory. They were a diplomatic wedding gift from the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia to Queen Elizabeth II. Let that sink in. And to add some seasoning to this royal stew, insiders claim staff knew exactly where they came from and were terrified to say anything. Terrified. Imagine being so afraid to confront a duchess over earrings that you just swallow it and hope nobody notices. That's the kind of office culture where you whisper your problems into your teacup. And then we fast forward to the second time she wore them, November 14th, Charles' 70th birthday celebration, still right in the heart of global outrage. It's like someone said, hey, maybe avoid those earrings for a while, and she replied, nah, I think they'll look great with this updo. But here's where things get spicy, like literally grab your popcorn spicy. MBS himself allegedly comes out and says he remembers Meghan on his yacht years earlier. He gifted the earrings to the Queen, not to Meghan. Meghan borrowed them. She kept them for years, took them to the U.S., and possibly had them remade into another piece of jewelry. A ring. Let me repeat that. Maybe a ring. You know how wild it is to take a diplomatic gift meant for the monarch and decide, these would look cuter melted down? I don't know about you, but that is bold. And before anyone says, well, maybe that's rumor, let me just remind you, palace staff already confirmed those earrings were the MBS gift. Books and reports have confirmed this for years, so he's not pulling this out of thin air. This is the part where, if you're enjoying this video, hit that like button. It helps keep these royal rabbit holes alive. Now, let's zoom out a bit, because the real question swirling around this isn't just, did Meghan wear controversial earrings? The deeper, sharper question is, how did a supposedly struggling actress, working odd gigs, doing bit roles, hustling between auditions, end up on a private yacht with MBS in the first place? Like, how? Help me understand. Her public story is small roles, splitting bills, driving a beat-up car, eating cheap salads between auditions. But then you have yacht invitations, Middle Eastern elite connections, diamond earrings worth more than most houses in London, friends in the Soho House elite, and there's this massive blank space in her public timeline from around 2004 to 2011 where information is noticeably thin. Not scandalous, just thin, like someone took a giant eraser to a few chapters. Now, I'm not saying she did anything wrong. I'm saying the gaps invite questions, especially when new claims roll in from somebody with memories that can't just be fact-checked away. Let's be honest, if any of us had a memorable evening with a crown prince, we'd remember every detail. But Meghan? Silence. Total silence. And that silence is getting louder because of everything else happening right now. It's January 2026. Her brand? Kind of wobbling. Her father? Recovering from a leg amputation with no visit from her. Her marriage to Harry? Rumors are everywhere. Arguments, separate trips, talk of him wanting to go back to the UK. Everstock glitches? Oof. Thousands of jars reportedly sitting unsold in a warehouse. Public sympathy? Not exactly trending upward. So when MBS picks this exact moment to revisit the earrings and that yacht evening, come on, there's a reason. Powerful people don't suddenly open the old files just for fun. They do it when they feel slighted or ignored or when silence has gone on too long. And Meghan's silence on this particular story, years long. She's addressed everything from avocado toast criticism to how many cushions she likes on her sofa. But this? Not a single word. Not even a gentle, actually, here's the real timeline. Nothing. And look, if the story were totally innocent, if she simply borrowed the earrings properly, wore them without realizing the timing, returned them promptly, and never saw MBS outside diplomatic context, you know she'd say so. She is not shy. She is not someone who avoids correcting the record. But here, the story shifts. First, borrowed from a jeweler. Then, well, borrowed from the Queen. Then, protocol stuff. Don't worry about it. And the palace? Never once confirmed an official loan. This is the kind of shifting narrative that makes people go, hold on, why is this so hard to explain? Even Harry allegedly didn't know the full provenance at first. Imagine being blindsided by that while trying to give your pregnant wife a stress-free royal tour. That man has been through enough. By the way, drop a comment and tell me what you think about this whole situation so far. Is it a misunderstanding? A PR mess? Something deeper? I love reading your takes. Now, back to the plot. Let's talk about why MBS speaking now actually matters more than any past rumor. This isn't a random blogger. This isn't someone who heard from a friend of a friend. This is the literal donor of the earrings, the man who knows exactly when they were given, to whom they were given, what they symbolized, and how they should have been handled. When a head of state says, I don't know how she wore them, or why she kept them, or why they were remade, that's not something you can brush off with a lifestyle blog and a candle launch. And if he did host her on his yacht pre-fame, that's not nothing. That rewrites part of her I made it all on my own narrative. Even the biggest Meghan fans have to admit that would raise eyebrows. We're not talking about having drinks with a casting director. We're talking about being on a yacht with one of the most powerful and controversial men in the world. You know what that does for your career? Everything. Connections open doors that auditions never will. Producers love introductions, networks love buzz, and elite circles love fresh faces with ambition. If that's how she got into certain rooms, even partially, it doesn't destroy her career story, but it does complicate the brand she now sells, the brand of humble beginnings and hard scrap hustle. And that's the big tension here. Her brand is compassion, clarity, authenticity, but the earring saga is none of those things. It's evasive, contradictory, messy, and now international political. Netflix, brand partners, sponsors, they don't love unexplained drama involving heads of state and diplomatic gifts going missing. And poor Harry. I mean, imagine finally rebuilding your life post-royal exit, and suddenly the past walks in wearing chandelier earrings like, "Remember me?" If even half of these claims are true, he's got a lot of questions to ask at home. And if they're not true, then why isn't she denying them? That's the part that sticks with people, even those who support her. When truly false rumors swirl, she responds fast. But when rumors hit the sensitive, very wealthy, very elite parts of her past, quiet. And quiet can be deafening, especially when the one speaking isn't a tabloid hack, but a crown prince who remembers that memorable evening and the diplomatic gift he says was meant for the queen, not the duchess. Whether there's more coming or this is the whole iceberg, we'll see. But 2026 is clearly not planning to give Meghan a peaceful start. If you made it this far, hit subscribe. Seriously, it helps. And drop your theories below, because I want to know exactly where you stand on all this. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Really, I appreciate you. And I think what's really rubbing people the wrong way isn't even the earrings or the yacht or the prince, it's the pattern of selective truth-telling. Because you can't build a public persona on vulnerability and speaking your truth and then leave entire chapters of your life sealed off behind tinted windows. People notice. People connect dots. And when those dots suddenly get confirmed by someone who wasn't supposed to start talking, yeah, the mood shifts pretty fast. Now, let's talk about the ring, because that detail dropped like a hammer. If Meghan did melt down those chandelier earrings and have them reworked, allegedly by a private jeweler in Los Angeles around 2021, that moves the entire situation from awkward royal protocol breach into diplomatic property potentially altered without permission. And look, I'll say the quiet part out loud. If this had been any other royal woman, Kate, Camilla, Anne, the press would have chewed them to pieces. But Meghan always had a kind of Teflon shield for certain critics, until now. Because once you involve Saudi Arabia, the stakes go up 10 notches. Diplomatic gifts are not souvenirs. They belong to the monarchy, not the individual. They can't be sold, traded, melted down, or taken as marital party favors during a California relocation. That's not just royal etiquette, that's international law. So if the ring exists, and if the metal or stones trace back to that gift, we are suddenly in a very different genre of story, and Meghan knows it, which explains, honestly, a lot of the silence. Now, here's where this story gets even more uncomfortable, especially for Harry loyalists. Where is the ring? Seriously, if it exists, where is it? Is it sitting in a box in Montecito? Did it go back to the palace quietly? Did it get sold privately during those financial adjustment months between deals? Or is it still being worn but disguised as something else? People in Hollywood do that all the time. Refashion gemstones, change settings, revise provenance, and suddenly nobody knows where it came from. And again, I'm not accusing, I'm asking. Because when a crown prince, of all people, claims his diplomatic gift got transformed into a sentimental jewelry, that's not gossip anymore. That's a breadcrumb. And here's the kicker. Everyone in Montecito knows the ring rumors. They've been whispering for years that Meghan has a yellow diamond she calls special. Nobody knew why. Now they think they do. But the plot doesn't end at the jewelry counter, because the Saudi angle drops directly into the broader Meghan timeline that's been quietly questioned for years. Who helped her move from cable actress to global household name to royal bride? Most actresses don't make that jump on grit alone. They make it through powerful introductions, strategic friendships, and patronage. Old world patronage, the kind you don't brag about publicly. And Meghan absolutely had those introductions. Soho House didn't just appear in her life randomly. That crowd is plugged directly into Middle Eastern money, yacht diplomacy, and Hollywood deal-making. That's not coincidence, that's ecosystem. And something about Meghan during that period makes more sense if you imagine her being in those rooms long before she ever said, "I do." And look, I know some people get uncomfortable at the idea that Meghan's rise wasn't purely merit plus destiny. But honestly, who do you know that rises on merit alone? That's not how fame works. That's not how power works. That's not how monarchies work either. Connections build empires, and Meghan was smart enough to make the right connections at the right moment. No shame in that if you own it. But here's the clash that makes the story combustible. She wants to be the underdog, the outsider, the woman who did it all alone. But underdogs don't get invited to yachts. Underdogs don't wear diamonds gifted by crown princes. Underdogs don't refashion diplomatic jewelry. That's elite behavior, unapologetically so. Now, I want to pivot to Harry for a second, because we can't pretend he's just a passive passenger in this. Harry left the monarchy thinking he was escaping the machine. Now he's discovering he married into a different machine, one he doesn't control and can't predict. Hollywood plays dirtier than Buckingham Palace ever did. Celebrity PR is colder than royal PR. And Middle Eastern power circles, they make the crown look like Disneyland. If Harry thought tabloids were rough, he has no idea what's at the edge of this. And you can see the strain already. The solo trips, the rumors of therapy overload, the friends who keep whispering that he misses the UK more than he'll admit. Meghan used to anchor him. Now it looks like he's anchoring her, and even anchors get heavy if you drag them too long. So before I wrap part 2, let me leave you with 3 questions, and I want real answers in the comments. Do you believe Meghan ever truly planned to stay inside the royal system, or was California the final destination? Do you believe the Saudi yacht story is real, or is MBS stirring the pot for reasons we don't see yet? And if the ring exists, does that change how you view her, or does it not matter? Part 3 is coming, and that's where we get into the real power chess behind this, and why it's re-emerging specifically in 2026. Because trust me, timing is everything in royal scandals.